Yo, what's good, everybody? It's One Poc back again. One Poc Book Club. Got a new book to share today. Today's book is Messages from Water by Dr. Masaru Emoto. And like I was saying in the last video about books finding you, and if you go to Barnes and Noble or a used bookstore and just browse around, definitely a title is going to pop out to you. And that's how I found a lot of books. And also so that's true in itself, but at the same time, a lot of books have been recommended to me either via the internet or in my day-to-day life interacting with people around me. And so that's definitely true, and that's part of the reason why I started this channel, is just to share my love for books, reading, and to share books with people who might be into them. It's kind of the same concept as maybe a book popping out to you if you come across this channel and a title strikes your interest, or maybe you see it and the cover looks interesting. So anyways, this book I found on the internet, just browsing, reading forums, and years ago, around 2012, back when they were saying, oh, the world is going to end. The Mayan calendar predicted the end. It's when the Mayan calendar ends, 2012, the world's going to end. So prior to that, a few years leading up, I would say between 2008 to, yeah, right around after 2012, during that time, there was a lot of information going around on the internet, and a lot of people were sharing information that I guess you could call metaphysical, cult, esoteric. There was just a lot of people getting into looking into the Mayan calendar and the end of the world and all that shit. So, and prior after that, after 2012, they scrubbed the internet. When I say they, I guess I'm talking about the people in power. But a lot of information and data has been scrubbed off the internet, and it's not really the same as it used to be. If you were around back then, you probably know what I'm talking about. But even if you look at the internet, definitely has control, and there's a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't even say a lot of people, but the people who control it, basically, they control the information and the data that we have access to when we are on the internet. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy that even if you look at like the TikTok ban that just happened a few days ago, and I was at work and a coworker pulled up we were talking about it, and he pulled up TikTok on his phone, and it said like it's restricted due to some law passing or whatever. But anyways, it's, if you think about it, it's crazy that uh, the people in power have the ability to flip a switch and restrict access to 200 million people just like that, just with the snap of a finger. So it's still happening today. And I think that's, again, why books are so important, is because you can't burn all the books. They'll always be there. And we don't need, you don't need an internet connection to read a book. So this book came to me just back then. It was making the rounds, and yeah, that's how I came across this book. It's super interesting. It's like Messages from Water. And when you think about water, it's just kind of, when it says in the book, when we're born, let's get that hair out of the way. When a sperm fertilizes the egg is like 90% water, and the human body is 70% water, and the earth is 70% water. And also, when you think about, and it also says in the book that they Well, anyways, I'll get into that in a second. But also, if you think about how you're born from your mother's waters and you come down her birth canal, it's like, my water broke, we're having the baby. So just water, how much of our life we spend around water and we come from water. And I guess it's maybe something that we would never really think about just because it's so common and it's just something that's there. But this book is, so what the author did is there's a point when if you freeze water, there's a point right between it being liquid and solid crystal when the crystals form. So it's not completely frozen, but it's right in that flux between. And he photographed under a microscope the water crystals forming, and so this book is his investigation into taking pictures of water crystals. And you might have heard the experiment of like taking rice or water and projecting a word at it or an image at it, and how the rice that in the jar where you say I hate you turns into putrid rot, but the rice that you say I love you like decays way slower and isn't so just festering. So that's the idea behind this book, is so it's just his investigation into water crystals and how water retains memory, and how water, yeah, it's just about that basically. But when you take it in the context of our body and the world being mostly water, um, it's pretty interesting because water has it retains memory. Water has memory, and just how words and emotions really affect us on, I guess, a molecular level, even. Because yes, we're just mostly water anyways, but so our thoughts and our words and our actions and uh, just the effect it has, yeah, like I said, on a molecular level in your body, physiologically, biologically. So just it's kind of just a reminder to be mindful of that and think about it. And this right here is they took this right here, they took water from a lake in China, and the water crystal that they got from the lake in China is the Chinese character for water. So it's just I don't believe in coincidence, but just the fact that the Chinese knew the character for water. And I believe that has to do with the water's ability to have a memory and impart knowledge, maybe subconsciously, because how did the Chinese know that a water crystal was thousands of years ago? How did they know that the water crystal from their lake was the same word in their language? So it's just this book, that's why it's super interesting, because you just go through it and there's pictures of the water crystals and explanations, and he documents his research and presents a case where, yeah, just being mindful of our actions and how the world is kind of one big symbiotic, related, interlaced entity or thing that we're all connected to, even down to water, which is, like I said, just something you would never really think about. But the book has, and he talks about how Well, I read years ago that sorry, I'm eating my vape. I read years ago that before, for example, the just the impact that water has had, like before the Great Flood in the Bible, it didn't rain, so there was never clouds in the sky, and it was constantly sunny in springtime, and yeah, it just never rained. So when Noah went to the Pharisees and said it's gonna rain and the world is gonna flood, they're like, "You're crazy." It's They didn't really know what rain was. They're like, "It's not gonna rain. There's never a cloud in the sky. It's always sunny." So that's why they thought he was crazy. So and that back then, so that's a biblical narrative of water, and then obviously it rained and the world flooded, and we all know that story. But I also read, and this was before the internet got scrubbed, like I'm saying. I don't think if you try to look this up, I don't think you would, because I've tried to since, but I don't think this information is accessible on the internet anymore after they scrubbed it. But I read that the earth back at that time before it rained, the sun didn't look the same, and it looked like an eyeball. And it's because it was the certain planets had aligned to make it look like an eye. And then what happened was Venus, because in this book it says that water comes from space. Um, they found in space like water crystals, and basically when they hit our atmosphere, the water, what happens is the water decays and dissipates and turns into steam and evaporates, and then becomes the clouds in our atmosphere. So when the sun looked different, water, I guess Venus, or I think it was said it was Venus, that planet passed by super close to the Earth, and Venus is the water planet, or it's so what happened when Venus passed by is it dumped all of its water onto Earth, and that's when it started raining, and that's when the flood happened and everything. So that's, like I said, you can believe it or not, but it's just interesting to know, because I don't know, I just like stories like that, and I feel like there's definitely some truth to that. You can call me crazy, I don't really give a shit, but and again, the information should be, I don't know, it's probably be pretty hard to dig up that information now, but obviously people know this, and it's been passed down for a long time too. But so, and also water goes back to like the earth in the scriptures, how it says in Genesis that the water, God separated the water above and below with the firmament. And so it would make sense that if, and the all the theories that water is in space too, and that like if you look at the depictions of the earth, ancient depictions of the earth and the firmament, and it always mentions the water above and the water below the firmament. And so it would make sense that water comes from space, but yet it surrounds us every day, and water is just everywhere. So this book is a way to explore that, and it's definitely like, even if you look at these pictures, I mean, every picture is a meditation in and of itself that would make you look at it, and you can meditate on even the pictures and think about, yeah, well, just put your mind in places. And so yeah, it's a great book. Really good book. It's pretty short too. It's like not even 200 pages, and it's $40 on Amazon right now. So it's kind of expensive, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth at least reading online in the PDF if you want to own the copy. I mean, and put it on your shelf and have it in your collection. More power to you. It's just going to cost you, like I said, but it's kind of expensive for a book. But to me, it was worth every penny. And like I said too, books and reading, it's an investment, and it's an investment into yourself, and it's it will expand awareness. And books kind of this book is like a piece to the puzzle. That's what books can do, is help you put things together and form a way and give you a perspective of how to view the world that's expansive. And so books can be a piece to the puzzle where you can just see the world in a bigger sense. And like I said, like all these pictures in here it's yeah, I mean, you can meditate on all of these. But so yeah, this book, definitely check it out. I would definitely recommend buying it and invest in yourself and get a new perspective on the world. And yeah, that's about it for this book, Messages in Water. And with that, I'm just gonna sign off, and I'll see you on the next video with another book. And thank you for joining me, and I hope that this book, I just hope that yeah, that's all. See you next time.